we still have a few minutes, so. While we're waiting, because we have 6 minutes, does anyone want to like share some huge takeaway they've had at the session so far? I always find the networking opportunities and the sharing is where we really get value, right? Well, I hope you get value here today. How did anyone have any like huge wins or huge ahas they want to share? Not yet.
Ask me after this.
After the session. No? Okay. How about this? Is anyone here an artist of any type? You're a musician? Do we have musicians? How about this? Were you an artist in an earlier life, or a previous life, or in a life that you wish you could have? Yes. Good. I wish I could be. Cool. Over there? Yeah, well, we know that, yeah. All right, and who's come the furthest? I'm from Seattle, so who's come the furthest to LA? Maryland? That's a nice, well, sorry? Longer than y'all, okay. By the way, from Texas originally, although I live in Seattle. So, when I say y'all, whereabouts, remember? Dallas, that's okay. You know, you get it. Florida, okay. And I said that with a good Florida. Did you see that? Like a Long Island, sort of, yeah. Jersey, which exit? Sorry. Some people won't get that joke. But there was a guy named Joe Piscopo in the 80s. No, seriously, you guys have been here for over a day and a half. Give me, shout out one amazing takeaway. Just one thing, a word, perhaps, that empowers everyone, right? Strategic. Trust. Neuroscience. Unreasonable? Oh. Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
Not you.
Unreasonable. Well, excuse me. I sometimes tell people I have trouble. I know a lot of folks who are presenting, and so I have trouble sometimes going to sessions because, as you will see, I get very excitable, and then I talk, and I want to offer my opinions. So I make sure to be quiet until I'm in the area where it's sort of allowed to talk, right? We have 3 minutes left. Would anyone like to hear a Shakespeare sonnet?
Yes.
Okay. When in disgrace with fortune in men's eyes, I all alone my outcast state, and trouble deaf heavens with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy contented least. Yet in those thoughts myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state like to the lark at break of day arising, from sullen earth sings hymns at heaven's gate. Thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings, that I would scorn to change my state with kings. Thank you. That was sonnet either 14 or 24, I don't know. All right, we'll wait 2 more minutes because I'm hoping we will get more folks in here. But how about while we are waiting, I would like to ask you to please turn to the person next to you, or probably someone you've not met, and describe how you are feeling right now at this moment, if that feeling was a hairstyle from history. So what hairstyle in history would best capture how you are feeling right now in this moment? Ready, set, go. just coming in, what we're doing is we are saying how we feel right now. Our feeling was a hairstyle in history.
Single of him, just fall on a single. That's what they all want. They already has like yeah, we all have. Yeah, he's recording it on screen. Top left. Okay, so follow him on this one. Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right. Anyone want to share the hairstyles they heard? 80s perm. Why 80s perm? What's making you feel 80s perm today? Tight with the hair, like, are we talking like Aquanet? Texas, okay. Yes? A beehive. Why a beehive? Okay. You said beehive too? Was that the exact same thing you said?
Yeah, just really energetic and everything going on. But I'm probably not going to last very long, so I'm only
Ah. Okay, good. Yeah, you'll leave and walk out and do it very awkwardly. What else? Yes?
I said flat top because
Flat top.
my brain is full.
So your brain is full, so you're like, just let me. Okay. Yes?
I said bowl cut because there's just so much information. You're just trying to distill it, and you're just like, you know what? Do it.
Yeah.
Cut it, and I'll deal with it later.
But I like that you did that instead of a buzz cut, by the way. Right? Yes? Marie Antoinette. So much information. Now, I just want to point out something that's so cool about this exercise. First of all, if I'd said turn to someone and say how you're feeling. But if I say, what hairstyle in history is that? Notice how you almost started to create inside languages between each other, like little inside jokes, immediately. And what's even more amazing, it meant different things to different people. You said a beehive. You said a beehive, but had slightly different reasons. I've done this, and they go French braid, because I'm getting to business. And then I hear other people like French braid, because I'm just trying to hold it all together. And what I love about this exercise is this thing out there, the AI thing, right? Do we know what like ChatGPT is called? There's a word, LLM. Does anyone? What is LLM? What was the second word in there? Language. So they're large language models. And we all were using language to talk to one another, right? But it means different things to different people. Hold on a second. Let's just pause, right? Because I thought we're all supposed to be learning prompting, which tells me that there's a right way to write certain words, right? But hold on a second. We just figured out, all of us, the words mean different things too. And we've trained the models like us, so it means different things to them as well. So I want to point out something that just sort of, when you step back and think about it, generative AI is constantly infusing error into the process. It's never going to be perfect. Does anyone here have AI on their phones? What I would love for you to do is open that up and ask it how many elephants could fit into the Arvist Convention Center. Is that where we are? What is this called, this place? LA? Well, let's not say LA. How about what's the sports stadium here? Crypto Arena. How many elephants could fit into Crypto Arena? I will do it too. And everyone's going to shout out their answers, okay? So I'm going to go to ChatGPT. Okay, and I will say, how many elephants could fit into Crypto Arena, right? And just for the sake of it, I'll go ahead and copy that same sentence. I'll go ahead and put it into the same model. Let's do that 3 times. Who's getting some answers here? Oh yeah, well, tell me, just shout out the answer. 180. 120,000. 5,400. 200, 100. Whoa, wait a minute. Why aren't we all shouting out the same number? I thought AI is like the brilliant, gonna save us all. Okay, and look at this. I put the same sentence in. So sometimes people will say, hey, yeah, but we're all using different models. Okay, same sentence, same model. Let me show you. Best estimate, 200. This one is saying on the arena floor, 190 to 200 maybe. This is not doing the thing I want it to do and showing me different reasons, but it knows me too well now, so it's doing all this. But if I went to different models and I asked it different times, you're going to get different outputs. So I want you to think about one thing right now. We have been creating content for a long time, and when we create content, now we're trying to create it faster. And the way we create it faster is by automating and removing human error from the whole process. That's how we get faster. But wait, AI introduces human error, which means if I automate creating something, it'll create 10 different things. That's not efficiency. So how do we need to think about this technology? That's what I want to talk about today, and I'm going to do something rather reckless, which is while I do have a PowerPoint up here that I'll tell you about in a second, I'm not going to use it. Because today we're going to build something live, and I want to show you how in the next 55 minutes we can change the entire way we're thinking about our jobs, thinking about the tools we need, and I want to empower and unleash you to not just create great training, but to change behaviors and prove out your results. Are we good with that? Can I get a yes? Okay, and because this is the title, I was just thinking it would be fun. Instead of like every time we do yes or something, we'll all go, oops. Okay, ready? So let's try it. Oops. Good, okay. So here's the question I want to start us with then, is, let me go all the way back here to the, well, how about this? I'll just ask the question, does a self-driving car need windshield wipers? Oops. Does a self-driving car need windshield wipers? Who thinks yes? Who thinks no? Who thinks I'm scared that you're even asking me this question? Has anyone been to Vegas recently, or does anyone live in Vegas? Oops. That's not what I want it to do. There we go. I worked for this organization named Zoox for a little while. Right now, they're owned by Amazon. They said, if we have technology where a car can drive itself, why are we putting that into a car created for humans? That's like putting an engine into a horse and buggy. They said, no, our goal is not to give you a better car. Our goal is to get you from point A to point B as efficiently and effectively as possible. So we're going to recreate the vehicle. When we rethink the vehicle, there's no front and back. The lights determine the front and back, which now means if there's traffic, I can crab crawl out because I completely changed the way my transmission works. Not only that, but there's no windshields because people are facing internally. There's only windows and skylight. And by the way, we all think like we shouldn't be driving because of the environment. And by the way, we will talk about the environment thing with AI. What's the biggest environmental cost to a car or a vehicle? Does anyone know? It's not driving it, it's production. And how many of us have cars? Good. How many of those are being driven right now? Okay. How many of that sits in the parking lot almost all day? 94% of the time, your vehicle after being created sits. So they said, how can we fix that problem? And what I want us to think about is now how we're not just going to put that engine into a horse and buggy. And so I asked myself the same question, which is why I don't use PowerPoints anymore. I vibe code using my language, and I'll talk about what that means. I make a little website. Because is my goal to create a visual aid for whatever? No. My goal is to start a conversation here that you can continue and grow from. So why would I just send you the deck afterwards? Why wouldn't I just give you a link to the website? Yep, I'll show you. We're going to do it here today. And I don't, by the way, I have a Master of Fine Arts in Theater, so nothing you are seeing today was any code involved. Why do we go PowerPoints? Why do we use PowerPoints? It's easy because we've been doing it for the last 25 years. Before that, we had flip charts that anyone used to travel looking like an architect. Okay, we're aging ourselves. So why would I create a PowerPoint? That's just a habit. And we're so used to thinking about, let me start with the content. Let me start with a 5 PowerPoint, 10-minute e-learning. What I'm going to suggest today is we're not even going to start with that. And we're not going to look at AI to make a faster e-learning or faster content. We're going to use it to reimagine what we're doing. So, live, right now, first of all, would you believe that in the last few minutes I have been user testing my e-learning? While I've been talking to y'all. Let me show you. So I've made an e-learning for a client of mine. And if you see here, there's this little green thing. And what's interesting, you see this is in French, is actually I didn't click any of this. I didn't do any of this. AI is controlling my browser right now and is clicking every single link for me to test whether it's accessible and to give me feedback on the language. And when it's done, it continues to give me feedback, which then I go and give back to Claude to create the content. And I just want to point something out that you might have missed. No storyline, articulate, lectora, any content creation tool used in this. The only thing I used, Claude. Oh, and by the way I've been able to make this, because I don't have to waste so much time clicking in whatever, I went ahead and said, you know what, I want it to be completely WCAG compliant. I want it to be in 8 different languages. I want to be able to capture information. I want it to be able to talk out loud if I want. I want to be able to put it into different languages, including Arabic, if I want. And I didn't have to worry about pointing and clicking and making sure and figuring out. I just had to tell the AI, make sure it does all this. We're going to do it right now. We're going to actually create several learning programs, and I encourage you, if you want, to play along. Does not matter your AI. First thing we're going to do, okay, is we're going to stop solving the problem. We're going to iterate, and we're going to go into a creative space about thinking through what we're trying to do. This is hard. So let's get an example. Can someone shout out a topic? We're going to build you a learning program or something today, right here, right now. Who wants a free learning program? It's decision making? Is that what it was? Great. So let's going to do a few things. I have AI, so I have a team, right? First thing I'd love to do is know, like, I don't know, decision making. What the heck does that mean? There's other people who've probably done research. So let's just start some research, right? Let's just get some information going. So I'm going to say, can you give me some in-depth research on decision making? Boom. Not even worrying about anything else. And by the way, you know, does anyone have like different LLMs they use? Sometimes more than one. If not, that's fine. But I'm going to go ahead and go to ChatGPT and do the same thing. So now I have 2 employees, essentially 2 interns, who are going to go out and essentially do 20 to 30 minutes of deep research for me. Now, that's going to take some time, and I don't have to be watching it. So while the research is going on, while I'm getting more information so I make sure it's going to be quality, let's now iterate and just play. The number 1 fluency indicator is iteration. The longer your conversation, the better the output from AI. You put one prompt in, you get one result. Generally, it's almost always wrong, and people don't question it as much. So, decision making, and I'm going to ask some questions here. First of all, why are we doing something on decision making? Why did the boss ask us to do a decision-making course? Give me some reason you would get. We need a decision-making course. Comes into your intake, okay? Yes? Okay, so we have a problem where people keep pushing their decisions upward instead of making them themselves. Is that fair? Okay, great. I'm not even going to say anything else but that. Because we are in an iteration phase, an ideation phase, what I would normally do is start going, great, let me get the LOs, let me do this, let me do that. No, we're going to just iterate and see what AI could possibly give us. Now, while that's going on, I want to suggest, does anyone ever get a request that isn't a request you should do? Okay, so a lot of people ask me, how can I use AI to speed up the process, to create quicker stuff? Well, the first thing is what? Figuring out the root cause. Figuring out what actually is it, and is this thing going to change it? Does anyone have to have decisions, discussions with their leaders about like, they want a training, and you're like, I don't know if that's going to fix the problem, but I don't know. Cool. What would help them, if I could show them something to be like, this is not going to work, what would I need to show them? Tell me. Sorry? I need data to show them? What I need to show, like ROI? Cool, so let's do this. Can you create an ROI calculator so I can have a discussion with my leadership about decision making as a skill and whether the training is worth it? Now that's going to create a tool for me. What can I do with that tool? Have a conversation. While that's building, let's just check up. Okay, this is saying, hey, can you tell me a little bit more about the research? I'm going to say all of this. This one's doing my research. This one has given us a bunch of research already. So I'm just going to take this. Let's copy that. Let's go into this thing, and I'll say, hey, here's some research to help us figure out training. While that's thinking, let's go check on our ROI calculator, which is still being made. And by the way, I want to point out, have I spent any time thinking about prompting? No. And I'm doing 5 things at once. I have 2 research teams. I have a team creating an ROI calculator for me. And I have another team that's helping me build out some training. Now I'm going to keep going through this. I'm going to say, here's the research. While that's working, let's do another training for something smaller. Sorry? How to shoot a basketball. That's going to be a hard one. You're going to challenge me. Good. What kind of people are we trying to teach? Why do they need to learn it? Ooh, look, everyone's like jumping in now. I think we have a lot of parents in here, maybe. All right. Help me help middle schoolers shoot a basket. All right. All our stuff's still going on. Great. Now, while that's going, and we'll get this, notice we still haven't created anything. We are just iterating right now. And while this is going, what I want us to do, this is not an IT skill. By the way, it's coming up with an acronym now. Cool? Beef, balance, eyes. And now, this is cool. I could stop, but why? This is cool, but like, couldn't you make some cool AI thing? How about this one? Oh, it's building the calculator. Great. Still doing stuff. Awesome. So I have like 6 employees right now, all going out and doing work, and none of them are creating anything yet. I'm still in my analysis and figuring stuff out phase. Now, this is all going on. So while it's going on, I want to do a skill, and this is going to help us with our prompting, okay? We are going to, for 2 minutes, you're going to turn to someone, And your job is to tell them about a learning you need to do, a request you got. The other person's job, first of all, you're not allowed to solution. No solutioning allowed. Other person, your job is just to ask them questions and get them to talk more. We are going to do that because we need to develop the skill to keep asking AI. Otherwise, you'll just get something, right? So here's what you're going to do. You're going to turn to someone. One person's going to be the listener. One person's the talker. Talker, you are trying to explain a problem you're having. Listener, you're not going to let them challenge, and you're going to keep them talking. How can you keep them talking? I'll give you 3 tips. 1, prompts. Not prompts like AI, but tell me more. Easy. Other one, just repeat the last word they say and upward inflect it. Does anyone know that trick? No? Yeah, trick. If you just do that, people go, yeah, it's a trick and da-da-da. That works for humans. It also works for AI. And last one are open-ended questions. We're going to do this for 2 minutes, and we're just going to ask the questions. You are not allowed to solve anything. Go. All right. I just want to ask, has anyone struggled with not jumping to solutioning? No, everyone's having a good time not solutioning. You only tried once? Stop that. Okay. So I just want to point out something. Metacognition is the skill, and that is not something that AI can prompt you to do. By the way, this is our little basketball tool, right? I said, can you make this some cool AI thing? So what did it create? It created something where I can upload a photo, right? And it's going to analyze the shot. Now, I could stop there, but oops, why don't I keep going? What has this costed me so much? Nothing. So what would be the next thing that would be cool here? I'm like, well, could I make it like a video instead? Cool. Let's see if you can do that. And now let's go look at this ROI decision-making thing and look at that. All right, how many trainees? What's the cost, boss? Current decisions? And the boss is going to say something like, well, you're not including the and don't forget about the, when we got to go to the AWS widget machine factory and put in whatevers. And so you go, oh, you're so smart, boss. You are widgets, right? And so then I can go, cool, we need to add, 10 more variables here that my CFO cares about. I'm not having a conversation, right? AI is having a conversation with them. And by the way, Is this AI powered? No, it's just a website. So AI is just making me a tool. And even cooler than that, we might say, you know, I made this tool. This tool is really cool. I actually want to put this into my LMS. How are we going to do that? What do you think? Let's say we want to put this into our LMS. All right, let's pretend the video feature is finished. What do you think I'm going to say to it so that I can put this into my LMS? Convert it to a SCORM? What might be the problem with saying convert it to a SCORM? Well, it will know what SCORM is, but can SCORM measure how many things? Why not XAPI, right? What's your LMS? Any LMS, just tell me the LMS that someone's using. Cornerstone, Biz Safety. All right, I'll go with Cornerstone because it's the popular one. No offense. And I'll say something like, right, hey, I need to put this into my Cornerstone. How, would I be able to do that? Can you do it for me? We're having some internet issues, obviously. And believe it or not, it's going to package it into an XAPI zip, and I can load it up into Docebo. What's crazy, though, is that was so quick. Why am I going to that? Like, why am I just saying, let me create the training? I got cool training, let me put it in. Is that really what we want to change? Do we want to just create training, or we want to change what? Behaviors. Okay, so let's go back to this idea of difficult conversations, right? Or decision making, I'm sorry, okay? What is it that we'd actually need to see to know the person has gotten the skill? Tell me the ultimate assessment. Let's forget about content, let's forget about learning objectives, let's forget about everything. You want to know, I trained someone, I did this, they can do it. What do you see, what do you hear? Okay, a demonstration, cool. So I might say something like, what was the other thing you were saying? Sorry, something result? Result. So I need something. You're saying, like, I would need to see them do the thing in the moment. And maybe even on an edge case basis, because I need to see that they can apply this general stuff to the specific. Fair? Okay. So why don't I start with that question? I want to create some sort of, what? You said scenario where I could see if someone is actually better at decision making. I'm thinking some sort of what? Back and forth conversation. And then they coach themselves on it. I'm just making this up. And we can start building that. Let's do another one. Why not? Let's go to ChatGPT and ask it the same question. And to make it even easier on me, of course, these are all, oh, look, by the way, can I upload this as a video instead? Yes, totally doable. We'll get to all that. Let me go ahead and find what I just put in. Sorry, this is the problem with me being crazy. All right, I want to create some sort of scenario. Okay, so I'm going to go to ChatGPT now. Let's just copy that same exact thing, and I'm going to paste it. And you know what? Let's do that again, because why not? So I want to point out now, just really quickly again, we have one person working on creating a scenario. We have our research person going out. We have all of the above. Is this something specific, right? So I'm trying to reduce this. Well, help me figure it out, because I don't know. Here's the ROI calculator, right? We're having made. Here's the AI under the hood. 1Q, drop a video in. And now we'll say, I need to upload this into my Cornerstone instance. Boom. Meanwhile, this one's thinking and this one's thinking. So I just want to point out, again, I've been using that phrase a ton. We are not more quickly creating a PowerPoint. We haven't created any content yet. We have, we can. What we're trying to do is go, what do I want to see? What do I want to hear? And now how do I build that? So for instance, you said I need results. So where I would keep going is, for instance, let's go here to the reduction. Actually, let's just go to a new one. We'll do something else, actually. Does anyone know vibe coding? I was mentioning it earlier. I said this is how I make my PowerPoints. Okay, so let me show you. Basically, this is going to create a complete computer program for us. Put it onto the web, and we can use it for anything. So let's go to the end and say, I want some sort of tool where they upload a video of themselves in a conversation. I need a tool where folks can record themselves in a conversation, and then it uses AI to assess it on the basis of decision making. And then it automatically emails them the transcript, and they have to provide coaching to themselves. Cool, let's build it. In about 10 minutes, I'll have a completely working website. And that's how I can start to create PowerPoints that are actually websites. And not only that, but all that recording we're doing with the decisions, all the stuff we're getting, I can now put that into an AI and let you talk to it. So at the end of this, I'm not just going to send you the website. I'm going to send you the website with the transcript embedded into it. Then you can talk with the presentation. And imagine that you're the L&D professional putting that into place. And imagine you could see all the conversations everyone's having. Now, instead of, I hope I create training that works, what are you doing? I'm seeing what's happening, I'm planning an intervention on it, and now I'm going to ROI immediately. And what's so difficult about this is not rushing to the end and not rushing to creating the content, because everything we're doing now, and look, live mic, recording, AI gateway, etc. All of this is completely makeable. And I want to show you as I go through this and show you something. I'm trying to figure out where to go. All right, here. We'll do this instead. I want to show you quickly a video. Well, let's do this. I wanted to point this out too. Prompting in different languages gives you different results. Now, we know that language focuses how you think. So, for instance, Russian speakers are able to determine between these two blue tints more effectively, just because the word exists. More fascinating, though, when they've asked AI in English, for instance, a question and ask it in Chinese, it gives different responses. Because culturally, there are different ways we talk. Now, why do I mention this? Does anyone ever review content or have learner personas? What if I could go, and I'll show you an example. Here is my content review focus group. So let's just take a press release from ATD. We'll just go to the ATD press room. And rather than say, I need you to review this from a 6th grade level, or I need you to do this, all I'm going to do is copy and paste this. And I'm going to go ahead and put that into my AI focus group. Now, what is my focus group going to do? I have my focus group essentially look at this content. The first thing it's going to do is say, who is this geared towards? Why did I not tell them that? Because I want to see if who I think I wrote it for is actually who wants it. Then it's going to take this and it's going to create personas based on those people. Give them backstories and narrative. It'll then put them into a focus group together, have them talk amongst themselves, and give me more feedback. So what's the benefit here? It's not I can get 5 things of feedback and integrate that immediately. It's going back to, for instance, our elephant example, perhaps. Oh, trying to find it. All right. We could say, for instance, here's one thing, and I could say, what am I not asking? Put 20 different learners through this and give me their feedback. Where are my biases showing up? And now I'm trying to uncover things I would not have thought of before. This is not faster, it's more thoughtful. And I can actually start to create a group of people who know me and don't know me, which is going to help me iterate and think through stuff much more effectively. By the way, here's the conversation coach that we asked it to build, as I recall, right? So it said, I need a tool folks can record themselves in a conversation. So I don't know if it's recording right now. Would be pretty cool if it was, but it looks like something's working. So I'll go ahead and have that stop. Oh, I don't know if it's recording right now. Would be pretty cool if it was, but and look at this. Where should we send your reflection? I don't know, send it to me on my email, whatever. And then I could say, oh, look, it wants an email. I don't want to have to use email. Just show it to me. And so what we're doing is creating 20 things at front. Has anyone ever bought a house or new construction? Right, they have you walk into the model. It's a lot easier to see the house when it's built rather than just simply look at a ground plan. And that's what we're trying to do is build, if I may, the Kobayashi Maru. The actual and winnable scenario all the way at the end. And so I just keep pushing it. And this is what people don't get is if it tells you no, tell it I don't believe you. So I'll say something like, this isn't good. You can do better. Now, let's say, this is where it gets fun. Let's say that you were working on this and this is exactly what you wanted. Wow, that was perfect. That's what I want. But now I would like to do that again over and over, right? Like, it would be great to be able to actually do this thing again and again because I found this process and it helped me think. When we hire people, why do we train them? Why must we train them to do it? They'll eventually learn it, I'm guessing. The way we want them to do it, sorry? Meet brand standards. And I'm guessing the reason we train them is because if we just let them not do it and just figure it out on their own, they'd be making all sorts of mistakes. And because we're paying them, we need to shorten that time. Fair? AI, if I type into it, did any of this cost me any additional money than simply the subscription? And maybe we can talk about the environmental. No. Has it given me a million ideas? Yes. And what would we do with an intern or a professional or someone, new employee, and they come in and we're coaching them and we're giving them support, we're giving them feedback, right? And now what do we say to them? Hey, great job. Great job. This is exactly what I wanted you to do. Thank you. If we wanted to do this again from the very beginning, and you did all of this immediately, what prompt should I have given you? And essentially now there's a few things. One is communication is different for every individual, right? We just talked about that at the beginning. My language is different from your language. So instead of writing a prompt and spending time, by the way, if I told you to write a prompt, would you have spent all the time maybe trying to write something like this? Would it have been as good or as thorough? No. Now I have the prompt, and then I can say stuff like, make it better and universal. And suddenly now I am coaching an AI by asking it questions. Then I am getting it to write out the prompt for me to do it again and again. And I am simply directing it and leading it and coaching it. This sounds a lot like human behavior and human coaching, by the way. We're using our language, we're talking to it regularly, we're iterating, we're giving it feedback back and forth. That's coaching, not prompting. And by the way, does anyone go to their boss and say, hey, I want to bring coaching training in? And they're like, yeah, okay. And then you go, hey, I need to do prompting training. And they're like, yeah, AI, it's the big thing, we got to do it. And yet it's the same thing. A lot of people ask me about please and thank you. You heard that? Should I say please or thank you? I love this story. They asked AI this, and OpenAI said, the machine don't care. But you know what? People who are polite, we have found, share more context. And the machine loves context. Do you remember smile? They can hear it on the other end of the phone. Same thing. That's a human thing. It's nothing to do with the technology, which I just love. And by the way, I do want to mention, because everyone always talks about it, the environmental impact of what we're doing. Let me go to Lovable and we can see this. Here, we'll try this for a second. I'll record it. Okay, a lot of people are worried about environmental impact, electricity, water, et cetera. I don't have a very satisfactory answer, but here's the best one I can provide, which is that capitalism is an extremely powerful force in the United States of America and in the world. And if doing something for the good of mankind is not happening, then maybe money will make it happen. And because now NVIDIA, Microsoft, right, all of them have to, I hope, and I believe they will have to create renewable electricity. Otherwise, they won't be able to compete. Again, not the most satisfactory answer, but the best one I have. Let's see. I stop this. We'll see if it can get get some sort of context on that, and we get an error. What are we going to do? Try fix it. What did this cost me? Nothing. And then I can start using this to collaborate with my human collaborators. Let's say, by the way, we got this, let's go to the ROI calculator. This thing is awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this. Again, this is built all into Claude or Copilot. They all have something like this. I can copy it, and I can send this to all of you. And then guess what? You could say, I want to make some changes, customize. And I want you to imagine at the next meeting, instead of saying come in with the learning objectives and the analysis and this, if you said come in with 10 ideas, iterated and ready to go. How quickly you could do that, and then I can see that and work backwards from there. I also want to point out that you don't always have to think about AI as the solution. Some people have security concerns, right? So they see this ROI decision-making thing and they go, that's great, but we're not allowed to use the internet. Fair? I need essentially it to be an Excel spreadsheet that I can download. Cool. Make this into a downloadable Excel spreadsheet. Has anyone ever used macros? Remember those, right? I have no idea how to write a macro, but I can ask AI to write one for me now. I don't know how to write a website, but I can ask AI to write one for me. I don't know how to 3D print something. But now AI is going to let me. So we are trying to reimagine and rethink what it is we're trying to do, and that means we have to stop creating the solution we need to create for the behavior change, right? What would be, I want someone to say, magic world, I always wish I could have created a training that does X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm about to give you $1 million. You have actors, Monopoly dollars, but I've just given you unlimited resources. I'm giving you access to the developers team, to the analytics team, to the marketing team. You suddenly have access to everything. What is your dream? Someone shout out, like, this is the dream I would create. A holodeck, whatever it is. By the way, how hard is it when I ask you to imagine anything you could create, how we can't even come up with it? That's a huge problem. Does someone want to say, big idea? Yes?
Customizable,
Perfect. I need customizable. job embedded training in the flow of work. Okay, stackable for continuing education credits. I'm guessing, what's the field? Good. I'm in what, K through 12 education? And are you a Microsoft shop or a Google shop? Both. We are a Microsoft shop. By the way, the first answer it's going to give me is going to be a really boring one, guaranteed. It's going to say something like, oh, well, here's an outline, and you could do this, and that would be really interesting, right? What we're going to do, though, is then say, hey, no, stupid, I need you to do this for me. And then when it says it, and I'm just going to go ahead and switch models here so that way we can go through these quicker. So we'll go over here. I'll make this the fast version. And we'll say, what was it? I need stackable in the flow of work, learning, and I have Microsoft and no budget. Okay, now it's going to say within, here do you go, what do you mean by stackable? Which Microsoft products? I'll say something like, I'm not technical. I have Microsoft, like SharePoint and stuff, and Teams and stuff. Got it, no worries. We'll keep this simple for you. Now it's going to say, what are you trying to teach people? I'm going to say, I need you to like create something really badass for me that'll solve this. Notice I'm not even really reading the responses. I'm just looking for the next idea. This is what we do together. So now it goes, oh, my team doesn't know how to use it. What's the actual problem? What would badass look like to you? Well, I'm going to say all those examples make sense. And I don't know, surprise me. Because I don't want to make cognitive decisions. Not only that, but the new models, the more you give information, the less creative they are. And OpenAI just released something, I'll show it to you in a second, that says you should not be using your existing prompting stack. Because old models needed more information, and now providing that limits their ability to provide it to you. Yeah, how's that for automation? All right, let me create a stackable learning hub for you, a SharePoint structure you can set up, Teams, blah, blah, blah. Great, here's a whole hub. Well, that's cool. Like, that looks cool, but how do I put that into Microsoft? I'm a Luddite and lazy, so you need to do as much of the work for me. And then it's going to say, cool, let me create a ready-to-use Excel file. So notice that just by pushing and thinking and challenging, we can get some really cool new ideas. And now we can start going, cool, and look, it's going to build me this whole thing, an Excel file. I might even say at the beginning, because I know it's going to go, I go, yeah, okay, make this much better. That's what I'll say next once it comes back. What's the problem with saying make it better? Nothing. If it makes it worse, who cares? If it makes it better, who cares? They're all more ideas. And what we're trying to do is have a creative idea world. I want to use a metaphor for you that I think makes sense. We're moving from a world of product and film to one of performance and theater. Has anyone ever seen a film? Good. I mean, if you haven't, that's okay. It's just, you know. When you see the film now and you saw it 10 years ago, was it the same? No? Was it the same film? Let me put it that way. You changed, but the film was the same unless someone comes out and does a director's cut, right? But all the work was done. Actors did their work. Directors did their work. Editor did their work. Work. Go. Out. Yeah? But what about AI, where it's different outputs every time? We are no longer in a if this, then that. Have you ever seen Lion King on stage or any show on stage? Every day you see that show, same words, same movements, same language, same notes, and those are employees up there performing for you. And if one of them screws up, everyone else has to understand to be able to step in. So I can't leave people in these little silos. We are now creating performances with anything we put AI into, because it is constantly changing. And it's less about, here's the SOP, and it's more about, here's what we're trying to accomplish. Rand did a study. I think most problems with AI, first of all, AI initiatives fail, I think, at a 3 times higher rate than regular IT things. And the number one reason is not everyone was aligned on why they were doing what they were doing. By the way, let's make this better, because why not? I also want to just bring up some things that I think will help maybe bring some of this home. And let's get to maybe something. Okay, here. I want to point this one out because I think it actually points to what we're talking about. 3 groups: AI alone, doctors with AI tools, doctors with just normal textbooks by themselves, all the normal stuff. Which group outperforms all the others? The middle one? Right? We hope. Yeah. Sorry to say, AI alone outperforms both of them. Now, we can explain this. There's probably ways we could explain this. But here's my question. Why aren't the doctors without the AI and the doctors with the AI performing any differently? No statistical difference. Why? They don't know how to use it. They don't trust it. So yes, there were some people who didn't know they could type the whole thing in. More so, though, the AI would say, hey, here's what it is, and they would go, no, that's not correct. And by the way, I'll send this whole deck out to you. There's a whole lot more research and stuff in it. So don't worry, it's not a deck, it's a web page. I'm going to put the transcript from this into it so you can talk back and forth with it. It'll also have all of my other stuff so that you can continue to work through it, okay? So just as you know. So I think here's the thing. What if instead of saying, hey, you're talking to an AI, we had said, hey, you're talking to a first-year medical student. They're in the books, they know everything. Might they have said, why do you think that's the diagnosis? I think this captures almost exactly what the issue is that we're facing. And this is really cool too. Users were told they're chatting with an AI. Think about this as we're rolling stuff out. They're told they're chatting with an AI. But they're told either the AI is a wry teenager or the AI is an experienced butler. And now, in fact, AI was not being used at all. These were humans on the other side who had no idea whether they were wry teenager or experienced butler. Little Wizard of Oz. So what happens? Same performance. The wry teenager gets higher stars than the experienced butler. Why? Expectations. So because they said, this is an experienced butler AI you're talking to, they held it at higher expectations than just saying, hey, a wry teenager. So they gave it more affordability. And I want you to think, as you're rolling stuff out, how are you anchoring these thoughts for your learners? And if I do say it's an AI, we can still have pretty good results if we make it clear what kind of experience or relationship we want them to have. I guess I would say we talk in metaphor, which is part of what I'm trying to get to here. But let's go back to, okay, so now we have, I just want to point out, because it's almost, 55 minutes. I know we're at time. This has been a bit all over the place, right? But I want to tell you what we've made. We made an enterprise learning hub, so we have an Excel spreadsheet now that we can download, okay? We have created, helped me create something I could 3D print. It could give me the STL or the OpenSCAD code, which I assume means that then it would print something for me. That would be pretty cool. I've gone ahead and remixed this decision-making Excel thing, and I think if we wanted, I could probably make it into a SCORM or XAPI package. We created this conversation coaching tool that I think in 2 or 3 iterations is already recording our voices. And I'm guessing if I stop it and we try to play again, it might actually give us the results we wanted. And we'll come back to that in a second. We also had research done, and I believe the research that we had done was over 30 or 40 different websites and probably 30 minutes of work. We've created a SCORM package, right? So here's my zip for my SCORM package that I guarantee I could upload, and it would work in my Docebo or Cornerstone. I created a link that I could send to all of you. We're still in the process of help me think through this. This, by the way, look, our research is still going. We already had other research done, and while I've been sitting here, I've been asking my AI to user test my course. None of this is faster training. We're not making PowerPoints faster. We're not making content faster. We are reimagining how we provide value and return on investment. And if this thing is trained on humans, if it's trained on the humanities, if it operates and tastes and sounds like a human, human performance experts like us are actually better equipped to lead this than IT, which might be why Jensen Huang of NVIDIA says IT is the HR department for AI agents in the future. He said that a year ago, which I think is funny because why wouldn't they just say HR can be the HR of AI agents? But nonetheless, as I think. So I am going to put up my like get in touch with me slide. The feedback one will not work, so that should have gone out. So just don't worry about that. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, please do. My presentation will be live on a week on my website. You can also find all of my stuff. I don't gatekeep. What I do is I speak at opportunities like this, and I try to help organizations think broader. I don't think we need more prompting training. And then just something interesting I didn't bring up, I didn't get to talk a lot about, but in this world coming up of AI, I sometimes wonder, because we use like personality assessments and we do all this stuff, and for me it's like if I am a blue or a green, or the AI is a blue or a green, I have no idea what that means. And so for me, I think we need to move to more comprehensive assessments that will focus not on who we are, but what actions and things we can take, which allows us all to work better. So that's just a little thing, and sometimes it works a little more into it. That is what I have. We have 2 minutes left. I appreciate everyone who stuck around, because I know this was a different energy than some of my normal stuff. But I want to open it up to what questions do you have that I can answer? By the way, I hate being on this side of the stage. Do you know why? Why is it better for the screen to be on that side? How do you read? I'd prefer that you read left to right and then go back to me. What questions do you have? None? Good. If your mind's blown and you don't know what the heck's going on right now, that is exactly what you should be feeling, because that means you know you need to be shaken out of your whatever. And over the next year, and by the way, the worst AI you'll ever use is the AI that we are using today. So I'll be around for a little bit. I really appreciate your attention and for you all coming to my session. Thank you very much.